Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria. Okay. And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
All right, good morning, beautiful people of Nigeria. Still in the studio, we are still going to be talking about KOGI politics because we didn't exhaust everything yesterday. And we could not take all your calls as they were coming yesterday. Today is KOGI politics. We have an update on Senator Dino Melaye's case, which had been moved to Thursday. And then we are going to look at the just concluded Congress that took place in KOGI State. We're talking about the APC concluded Congress. And of course, we have someone in the house who started yesterday with us and is still Mr. Goodman. But we'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll introduce him properly and then we'll go straight into what we have today. Please stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa Nakama. They are like Agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history.
It's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When the Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today, we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
All right, so welcome back, beautiful people, and still in the studio. I told us that we have Mr. Goodman that joined us yesterday. He's still here today to do justice to what we started yesterday. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Okay, it's still KOGI politics, and straight on, sir, what is the update you have coming from KOGI State in line with Senator Dino Melaye's case that been moved to Thursday, the 10th of May? Sorry.
Well, KOGI is quite peaceful. We thank God we are making progress. The matter came up yesterday in the court in Lokoja, and Ozakome was there as usual, the firebrand lawyer. And then he went into the issue, and then the judge asked for time, and the matter was shifted for conclusion. They will conclude it on Thursday, which is 10th of this month. So, and I'm sure, I don't want to preempt the outcome of anything that is in the court, but definitely his rights will be given to him. I mean, Dino.
Okay, and when you're talking about his right exactly, like now, yesterday I told you that the crime that he's been alleged to have committed is one of the heinous crimes we have in Nigeria. Are you going to see, or are you preempting we have a speedy judgment on it and it's going to be fair, in line with you saying his right to be given to him?
Yes, it's a bailable offense since that somebody somewhere mentioned his name. He was not caught in the act. They never saw anything with him, and search was conducted in his both houses, both here and in the village. I don't think there was anything incriminating that was found around him. And it's a mere allegation. Somebody somewhere said this, and then it has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt in the court before we can run to conclusion that he actually did it or he is guilty of this or that. But what I mean by his right is that his human rights, he has the right to defend himself. And that's what exactly that is going on. And to the best of my knowledge, the character I know is not somebody that will indulge in such acts. He knows nothing about it. He remains innocent. But I don't want to preempt what is going to come out by next tomorrow, but it will be in our favor. Justice will prevail.
Okay, now I remember yesterday you said you didn't have faith in the judiciary.
Yes, definitely.
Has that changed from the update you have now and your former perception about the judiciary?
This is obvious. No matter what, there are certain things that you can change or tamper with. And there are certain things you don't dare do that. It will be obvious. Now somebody said, this man gave me the gun. For what purpose? Where? How? What led to that? It has not been proved yet. Then you arrested the man, took him to court. And then police should stay away if the matter is in the court. Any matter that is already in the court, police has to stay away. They can prosecute him in the court when they meet in the court. Court knows what to do. You can see that they have invited IG to appear before the Senate, which they have the right to do. But the man still refused to obey that simple order. It's not done anywhere. At a time, the president told us that IG disobeyed him. So if an IG can disobey the president and commander-in-chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then the Senate president, being the third and the speaker the fourth, then what happens if IG disobeys them? What will he say? It's a culture, it's a common practice. Okay. I don't want to name him name, but he has named himself names.
Okay. Now, are we saying that no one can control the IG? Is that where you're coming from? Because he disobeyed the president according to what he said, and then the Senate have summoned him like the second time, and he refused to appear. Instead, he's been sending his deputy. Now, the question is it that there is no one, no constituted authority to call him to order?
Well, I have discovered that this Idris is the strongest IG Nigeria has ever produced. But how, the source of his power, I don't know. He was appointed by the president and he disobeyed the president. So what are we talking about? During the first time he was supposed to appear before the Senate, he arranged a caricature program in Kaduna, a kangaroo trip to Kaduna, and went to Kaduna, and that he went to Kaduna for an official engagement. Which one will be more official in Kaduna than Abuja, involving the status, the caliber of a Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? He went to Kaduna to show that he went for a program, but in the order of hierarchy, the Senate President should be honored. You have a commissioner of police in Kaduna, you have a DIG or deputy IG, somebody who is there. The same man he sent to represent him in the Senate that day should have gone to Kaduna to represent him, because this is a national issue. Anything involving the Senate president is a national issue, and the office deserves serious respect that you don't need to be told. As a Nigerian and his own rank and status in the society as an IG of police, he should know the kind of respect to return to the Senate president.
Was there tangible reason given by him why this act was carried out?
He said he went to Kaduna for an official engagement where he met with El Rufai in one boardroom meeting, and that was all. He decided to go with the helicopter to burn some money and to go there instead of honoring this, and asking the man in Kaduna, the commissioner of police in Kaduna, to represent him and report back to him. Simple. But the man is almost above the law. He's an IG that is above the law.
All right, we'll get back to that later. Now, let us look at the just concluded Congress, APC Congress in KOGI State. Of course, we are dealing with KOGI politics today mainly, again. Now, what is the update on the just concluded APC Congress?
Well, I said it, and I will say that if care is not taken, the party may not survive 4 years. We're talking about PDP, who promised us to lead us for 60 years, but they ended up with 16 years. And Lai Mohammed said, I don't know how many years he prophesied the other day, but from what we are seeing, God help them, all over the country, from the report I got, about 22 persons died
during the
congresses. Okay. 22 persons died through attack, gunshots, stabbing, and what have you. So many hundreds were injured, thousands they were injured, including some stalwarts. In Delta, a world chairman, chairmanship aspirant was stabbed to death. But then, those who think that they are untouchable or they are the lord of the party, some of them are crying now because they were played to their own game. I know of a governor, Okorocha has asked the president to cancel, or the leadership of the party to cancel it. The same thing in somewhere in Zafara, Delta. In fact, about 80% of the state are asking for a repeat of the process.
Okay, now going down to your own state, which is our core concentration or area of concentration this morning, what happened in KOGI State? Would you say that the Congress was successfully carried out? Or would you say that it wasn't a success?
KOGI, there's no how. If other states that were peaceful before now cannot get it right, how can the state that has been on fire get it right?
Can you talk about the factions?
Yes, I'm going to it.
Okay.
I know much about APC. I am a founding father of APC. I told you, one of those that brought the party to KOGI State. So the party is divided into three. The Yayabelo faction, the Audu Falake faction, and the group of PDP that cross over to APC, which about 60% of them, they have made a return now. They have returned back home. Where they call home is their party where they ran from in search of greener pasture, and they were not given the refugee status that they deserve in APC. Nobody recognizes them. They were treated as if they were used and dumped. So some of them ran back quickly before this Congress. But now it's a straightforward fight between Audu group and Bello group. And the chairman, I'm sure, should be with Audu because they were together from ab initio, from the beginning. So they ran parallel program in KOGI State. We have, as we are now, even before now, APC, they are having two local government chairman, world chairman in most of the local government in KOGI State, because there was disagreement from the beginning. I was those. We were part of those that disagree with the pattern late Audu was handles affairs of the party. So we decided to go ahead with our own program. So before now, they were having 2 secretariats in any of the local governments you go, and the standard or status quo is still maintained. They wrote their own names separately. The Yabelo group wrote their names, sat somewhere, using all the local government administrator and political office holder to write their own name, while these people use the party structure, because the entire party structure is not with Yabelo before now. The party under the leadership of Hadi Ameto, they've been on their own, and they've been living in exile. They were driven from home. Everything was used against them. So before now, the governor is the chairman of the party, and he has appointed his own Ahovi, somebody from Okene, Ibrahim Ahovi also, to be his own chairman. He has the secretariat along Galaja Road. If you are going, he has a secretariat there before now. They are running 2 secretariats. One in the heart of the town by the Moto Park, opposite the secretariat, local government secretariat, and the other one at Ganaja, the Belos secretariat in Ganaja. So they have been running 2 secretariats before now, and the national secretariat are aware of it. They have set up so many committees to look into KOGI state. They have all failed, just like his own screening to screen staff failed. Everything in KOGI is a failure. It went up in fiasco. It's so sad. So the crisis is escalating. KOGI, people are looking beyond that party. Let me tell you the truth. They are looking beyond that party. They run the party like a PLC, where if you are a shareholder, your volume of share determines the power you wield, what you say or do. So Bello is the chief executive of APC in KOGI State, chairman chief executive of APC. He has the highest share, equity share in the party. So he runs it like his personal company, and a lot will not agree with that.
Now, looking at APC as a structured party from the nationals, I'm sure that APC will not fold their hands and watch things go bad in KOGI State. Now the question is, are you actually alleging that there is no unity or something in the party itself?
Yeah, the party was horribly put together. The foundation was not that strong. We wanted a change. That's why hence you see you are hearing the change mantra. I'm part of it. I've been part of them.
You were part of those that chanted change.
Yeah, I'm part of them.
You desired change.
Yes, which is not.
What has changed right now? What changed your opinion about you trying to? I don't want to say run away or drift away from the change you once chanted for.
Yes, when we're talking of change, we're talking of a paradigm shift, a change that will bring in a fresh idea. So when we're talking of change in KOGI State, and Abubakar Audu still happens to be the ticket bearer, the standard bearer of the party, where is the change? He has governed the state 2 times, about 20 to 30 years ago. He was there, and coming to 16 years ago, when this process kick-started, he came out again. He has contested governorship for about 7 to 8 times, won twice, and then was not successful in the rest. And this one, he died. So sadly enough, we missed him. They refused to allow young men to learn the rope of leadership. And I am one of those that I can't be used and dumped. I'm not anybody's boy. I love and cherish my liberty and freedom, which I have secured. I work for it for the past 25 years. I have been on my own, controlling my political destination and political affairs. So I'm not anybody's boy, and I won't be anybody's boy.
All right, please hold on, sir. Yeah, you said they didn't allow the young men to participate, in the running of the affairs of the party.
Yes, they did not.
Good. Now, Yahaya Bello is one of the youngest governors we have in Nigeria, against the backdrop of what you just said now. So how do you reconcile this?
Maybe you didn't know how Yahaya Bello got there. this again bring us to the issue of Dino embracing him. There's no how we will not want a young man to be at the helm of affairs in our state. Enough is enough. When Abubakar was elected governor, for the first time he was 44 years old. And when Gowon made it, he was 32 years old. Shagari was there at 49 or thereabout, president. When are we going to start making our contribution? We're tired of carrying placards. We're tired of wearing versus t-shirt for them. We're tired of playing the role of Togri, carrying weapons to chase away others who want to serve. They should know there's no age retirement for it, but the young people should be able to retire the old people in politics.
We are still saying the same thing.
Yes.
Now, a young man is at the helm of affairs of Kogi State, and according to you, he hasn't done good enough, for the state. So, what is the possibility of Kogi State now returning another young man to control the helm of affairs of the state, knowing that a certain young man had been given an opportunity, and according to what you're saying, he has not done enough for the state?
No, this one happens by accident. And a lot of good things were discovered through accident.
Okay.
But our own turned to be calamity. He was never elected. We never discussed and agreed that he should be the next servant.
Was there an election?
There was an election that the man that was winning died.
Okay.
During the process.
Okay.
And then the needfuls were not done. The due process was dropped, and the party process, the power that be process was adopted.
Okay, you continue with this discussion. We'll go quickly for a short break. We'll be able to take calls now. Please stay with us.
Welcome to National Discourse.
Current affairs.
We must not extricate anybody from corruption. If any one of them is found wanting, the due course and the law must take its course.
Nation building.
Administration is slightly different from the last one in the fight against corruption.
We need to really task our leaders, who are the religious leaders, from the emir, from the bishops, from whoever they can.
Some of our village markets, there are people, they call them in Hausa yang nakama. They are like agberu in the markets.
Whatever anything is not useful to you is not important to you.
Politics.
What happened in Benue might be political. It still has another tone, not political, dated way back. If you follow history,
it's interactive.
Not part of Nigeria.
Okay.
And it will not be good for us.
When they gather their people, they tell them, these Hausa people are your enemies. When Hausas gather together, they tell them, these Igbo people are your enemies. When the Yoruba people gather together, they say the same thing.
Who are we? We are just from the background. And today we are here in TSTV. And that is why we must propagate our own.
National Discourse. Weekdays on NCTV.
All right, so welcome back from that short break. And before we went for the break, we're deliberating on if young men should be given opportunity in Nigeria, especially in Kogi State, of course, which is our base of concentration this morning. If a certain young man have been there and there is no specific change that has happened, or he has not done enough, according to the guest we have here, what is the assurance that some young men, also certain young men, will be given this opportunity again to move into Kogi State to make the change that we are looking for effective?
Thank you very much, Uche. Young men should be given responsibility based on capability or capacity.
How do we discover that capability or capacity?
We discover it because we know the antecedent of each and every one of us, because we belong to the same society. We live together. We know who is who. We know who is capable of this and that. Like a football team. We know who is to be in the goal mouth, who is to play 6, 7, 11, 12, and 9. We know who is to play that. Don't bring the goalkeeper to come and top strike. That team will not go anywhere. That's what we are saying. Young men should be given the chance to serve, to given the opportunity to learn, but not just any young man, anyhow young man. A young man that has shown prowess, skills, and commitment that, yes, I can do this, I will do this, I can do it. That's the people we are talking about. These are the people that should be given the chance to serve. It's not just a young man per se, because he's a young man, because he has a car, because he has wearing white babariga, because he's wearing a suit, because he can fly in the aeroplane with even a pilot, or because he has the best house in his community.
So what is the proper criteria we are supposed to use to determine who a good leader is before he comes to power?
Yes, we know who we are. Good leaders are those who has first thing and above all is the fear of God. 2, love for the people, not selfish interest. Vision. You have to be innovative. You have to think faster than the rest people. You have to be tolerant. Have that capacity, that large heart to absorb, to carry people along as well. You have to be calculative. You have to have what it means to bring people together, galvanize it, and have the listening ear to listen to them, and then somebody who again can have a feedback mechanism, or whatever you do or say, what is coming out of it. So we know what leadership qualities are. So you may not have all, nobody can have all, but we should look for who can score above 60%. Now when you give them the chance, the difference will be very, very clear. But a situation whereby the whole criteria you have to become their leader is because you are the richest, or because you have a fat account somewhere, because you are able to divert some money and you are controlling the money. Since we belong to a road society, corruption is worship in the country. If that is not stopped, we are going nowhere. You can see what is happening to my people in KOGI State. For 27 months, people are not paid their salary despite.
Sir, please, we'll come to that. Can I pick this call? Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
I'm calling from
Edo State, and your name, please.
My name is
Samuel? Sahid. Okay, Sahid. All right, your contribution, please. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. So please can you quickly react to this?
Yeah, he made his contribution and it is apt. He has said it all, that there was a kind of a miscarriage of justice somewhere in the process. He's speaking from far away Edo State. Every Kogi problem is common, synonymous. Everybody knows what we are going through in Kogi State. Even people in Boko Haram enclave are living better than we because of the economic terrorist that has taken over the leadership of our state. God help the state. The man spoke well. He said he spoke it rightly how it is in Kogi State.
No, there's a question I asked you yesterday, and I still want to ask that same question again. The question is, can't anything be done about this? Can't anything be done about the leadership? Because I know, like I cited the example of Dino Melaye's attempted recall process, which failed and went to his favor. But if such process could be, initiated by people, whoever, whether enemies or not. Now, if people in Kogi State are dying gradually because of non-payment of salaries over 24 months or whatever, the question is, can't anything be done about this? We are still in democracy. It's government by the people. And everything is centered on the people. Can't anything be done to save the souls in Kogi State?
I want to use this as an example. Have you ever seen where a plane that has crashed, landed, crashed, repaired and put to use before?
We've heard.
We've heard. No, that means it didn't crash. If a plane should crash, that's the end of that plane. Everything is perished. So the government in Kogi State is like that. It's a plane crash, a plane disaster.
So what is the hope for the common man?
The hope for the common man now, because we thought the leadership of the party at the national level will intervene. They will call the boy to order. Instead, the boy is being embraced. The boy is their boy. The boy is their first son. In Aso Rock, he wields so much influence. At the party secretariat, he is almost the numeral owner there. He's almost in charge before now. But we don't know if there will be leadership change in the Congress is ongoing and they will bring in a better person to monitor their own party. It's their internal affairs. Nobody can talk to the boy from home to abroad, from the floor to the top. Nobody can say anything. He does whatever he likes. He will come to Aso Rock, give them an impression, and they'll clamp hand for him. He will go back again. But at home, people are dying of hunger and starvation, disease and poverty. No money, no salary, no development. Traders are in trouble. Workers are in trouble. Professionals are in trouble. He has even stopped timber contractors from bringing down wood in the forest where the pieces for people to use for their woodworks. So he has given increased the taxes people paying before now, triple it. They can't pay. People are running away. Mass movement from Kogi State. People are migrating out of the state. So the particular man there now, the state people has no solution to his problem. The only solution to his problem is PVC, which we are asking everybody to go and get his or hers before the D-Day. In the next election, I told you the duality of election, the advantage, double advantage of an election. You vote in and you vote out. We are in trouble for these 4 years, 1,460 days. We are in this trouble. Nothing can save us.
Sorry, I would want to bring your back or bring your attention back to what you said yesterday. You said the process that brought him in is not the right process, right? And then I asked if an election took place, which you said yes, there was actually an election. Now, if the election or the process that brought him in is wrong, and that is why the Kogi State people are suffering, it's still election process. Now, how would you say that election PVC is the only way out? What if what happened before happened again? Are you not seeing that possibility?
If what happened before happens again, it's still to our own advantage. We will celebrate it.
While people will die?
Somebody died for him to get there. So if you're telling me what happened that brought him to go happen, which I am not foreseeing or praying for,
no, if it happens, not praying for that, but
if it happens,
peradventure it happens.
If it happens, it's one-way traffic lights. It's okay. He goes. Nobody lives forever. I don't wish him. I don't pray he dies. No, I'm a young man. There was a time they reported that he was dead. I went on air to write that Bello was not dead. And KOGI shouldn't be turned to a cemetery. We are not undertakers. He said he wasn't. He's alive. If he has challenges with his health, let him go ahead with it. He will recover very soon. So I don't wish he died. We want him to remain alive, to watch how we are going to remove him and replace him, and see how we are going to bring good governance to the state. We're going to evolve development, good governance in KOGI State. We want him to live and see it. We don't want him to hear the story. We want him to watch it, to be a live witness of what good governance is all about. What a young man can do if given the opportunity to serve. The one he had, and it's almost a waste, a loss to us. Nobody should use Bello to judge us. I have said this and I'm repeating it. There are 2 things you don't dare do it, or 3. Don't use Bello to judge the youth of KOGI State. Don't use Bello to judge the ethnic group, Ebira people, that this is the way they are. No, don't use Bello to judge them. 3, don't use Bello as an example for KOGI people, because he is never there because of our mandate. We never mandated him to be there. We never discussed that he should be there. We never agreed that he should be there. Somebody somewhere, because of his contact, his own link, was brought and imposed on us. The man that spoke from Edo State, talked about the deputy governor, chief candidate to Audu Falake, who ordinarily or naturally supposed to emerge if due process were followed. But this man scaled the fence. He was brought in through the fence by the giant in his own group or in his party. So don't use Bello to judge KOGI youth. Don't use Bello to judge Igbira people that this is how they are or who they are. No. And don't use Bello to judge the religion he belongs to, because everything in this country will always bring in religious sentiment to it. Don't say Muslims behave like this. No, they don't. He's a Muslim, quite all right. He's a youth, quite all right. He's an Igbira boy or son, quite all right. But don't use him as a standard measurement to measure all these 3 things I have enumerated. Bello is Bello. He behaved the way he wants to behave. He lived the way he wants to live. He does things in his own way, which has been working for him. But you can only do or live the way he's living in a personal life, not in a public life. As an individual or as an ordinary person, whatever you do, you are on your own. Nobody cares. But when you are occupying a public position, a position as big as the governorship of a state, number 1, citizen of a state, there's rule of law. There's you are governing people. You must carry them along. You must listen to them. There's even constitution guiding the seat and the state and the people you are working with. So he's not ready to work with the people, but he's ready to walk the people to death. He's not ready to work with them. He's not ready to talk to the people. Nobody is even good enough or mature enough or qualified enough to speak with Bello. He has no regard for his own generation, the youth, the elders, the women who are mothers. Everybody are suffering. Even a member of his own family are not being paid their salary. Will you believe that? Member of his own family. So know that if there's one thing I will not accuse Bello, is that he is not a tribalist, and he is not into what do you call it, nepotism. He's dealing with everybody. He never cares.
So he not being tribalistic,
Yes.
or nepotic is on the negative side. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, negative side, negativity.
Okay.
He is not. He will not recruit you because you are from his family, because he doesn't even pay a member of his family who was their job before he's coming in, who or she were working before his own emergency as the governor. He's not paying them their money. So how do you expect that he will bring in new people from his family to come and work? He will bring those he will use, those that will serve him, those that will help to return the goods.
Now, apart from the fact that you are the son of the soul, but you seem to have deep knowledge or in-depth knowledge about KOGI politics. And my question next is, do you have any personal relationship with your governor?
No, long before now. Before, we were both working together in APC. Bello, I and him were friends. We were discussing, we were hoping that we will bring good things to our state. We were hoping that we will be part of the management of our state. We were discussing, we were talking. I even, I published National Mail magazine. There was a time I brought the magazine to cover him. He was showing some kind of reflexes that you say you work with the kind of person in any way. I'm sure that is why Dino and co embraced him. But we never knew what we were seeing that time was a negative. You know, in those days, there's a camera they used. The first product is called negative. Then you develop the negative to picture. So in the negative, you cannot really differentiate or say the color of the shirt, the location, the position of whatever. But when it is printed out, you now see the picture clean and clear. So when the Bellows negative was finally printed, we can now see the clear and clearer picture, and we now know who he is. We were close before. We meet regularly. But now, since I left the party for another party, maybe we were rivals. But how many young people are relating with him in the state? Who? There are just two of them managing the state, two persons managing the state. The rest are the servant-master's relationship in the state. The rest are the servant of the two masters.
Are you talking about the governor and the deputy governor?
No, the deputy governor is one of the servants of the two masters in KOGI State. The
How
deputy
possible
governor,
is that?
Yes, the deputy governor was appointed and given a form to fill, a code of conduct, how he should conduct himself, how he should behave, what he should say, what he should not say, where he should go and where he should not go. So he agreed to the terms. He conceded to what they asked him, that this is a condition that will allow you to occupy this position. He did, and he's now suffering it. It's almost the least in the ESCO, the executive. Some commissioners and advisors are even more recognized than the deputy governor. He's there on ceremonial basis. Somebody brought him, and the person that brought him is still holding on to the chain that is tied around his waist. So they drag the chain at will, whatever they want to do. The governor is traveling. He has traveled abroad for uncountable number of times. There was never any of the numbers that he traveled, any time that he traveled, that power was handed over to the deputy governor to be in charge of the state.
So who takes care of KOGI State in his absence?
KOGI, at times the governor controlled the state, the government from anywhere he is in the country, the laissez-faire affairs. And on another occasion, the chief of staff, Edward Onoja, controlled the affairs.
Okay, now, quickly before we wrap up, you have spoken so passionately about KOGI State and, of course, to show that this is your state and you're so concerned about your people. My next question is, you once contested for a gubernatorial election in KOGI State. Now, if such opportunity comes to your hand right now, what different things can you do?
Uche, I thank you very much. I told you, and I'm going to repeat myself, that I belong to Ministry of Works. This may sound strange to you. I have never really thought about myself, and I'm still finding time to think about myself, that this and this I want to do, I want to keep for myself or my children. I have been working all my life for humanity, for mankind well-being. All my contribution in life, all the sacrifices I have made or done is for the betterment of humanity. I am available. The other time, it was the youth that bought form for me to run for that office. I don't know, they should know why they did that. I asked them, why are you asking me to run? They said, we know who you are, and we believe you will not disappoint or deviate from the norms, what we have been pursuing before now. So I will do everything differently from the way the young man is doing in the state. I will bring development to the people, or bring the people to development. Whichever one that is easier for me will be done. I am not corrupt. and I will never be corrupt. I have asked God that anytime I'm going to go against anything that is good, or anybody that is good, that meant well, please God, take me out of this earth's surface. Kill me. Anytime I am going to be diabolical about people that are good, that are doing good things, God, kill me. Descend on me and kill me. Each time I go for campaign, I used to remove my shoe to stand on the floor to discuss. That is the God people believe, because they bury us in the soil. So if I will be corrupt, if I will go against my people, let me not succeed politically. Let me not have any position to hold. But if I'm going to be there, they will find good things. They will rejoice. I'm asking God, praying God to get me there.
Okay, now quickly, before you made mention of, or used the illustration of an aeroplane that actually not crash landed but crashed, and you said that is what Kogi State represents, or what is happening right there. Now, if the government have collapsed the way you said it, and according to you said such plane cannot, be repaired again,
born again,
how would you, as a person moving to Kogi State, and resurrect what has been buried?
Let me tell you, whoever is going to succeed Bello would suffer. And you need to have the capacity, the vision. You need to even know the extent of damage that has taken place before taking over that state. It's a liability. It's not going to be uhuru for you. Anybody that's coming to that place should be ready to work, should be ready to take pain, should be ready for attack, because the expectation will be so high. They'll be thinking that you are there, you solve the problem overnight. But this problem was caused over the years. The state has gone down for 27 months and is still going. So for you to assume something that has gone for this number of days, to pull it out and put it on motion, you really need to suffer. We need to bring somebody with capacity, somebody who is God-fearing, who will not divert the money. So much money is being brought. So Bello would have been the best governor Kogi will have ever had or produced, based on the resources made available for him that was diverted or wasted. So if I get there, if it's me, I know where to start from. I know what to do. Nobody will misdirect me. Nobody will lead me like he was led, or like he's going. I won't go.
All right. I don't know. I just wanted to throw a few words to the people of Kogi State that are actually watching right now. What words of hope you're going to give to them, at least to stay alive, to stay strong, until the much needed change come, to pass, like in few seconds.
My fellow KOGIs, we put in place what is known as Save Kogi Project to save our state from the hands of the enemy within and far away. I call you Wabelia State. Wabelia people, listen to me. One is for Yoruba, means come. There is Igbira people, means come. Lia means Igala, come. Let's come together. This is the time to come together to save the land, to rescue the soul of Kogi State. We need to come together. Forget about all those moving around that they want to be this and that. They are only wasting their time and resources. When the time comes, we are going to sit down on a round table and say, you be this, you be that. You do this, you do that, and we'll back up whoever is given any responsibility to do. Make sure your PVC is protected and intact. Do not sell it. You didn't pay money to collect PVC. Don't sell it. Lie. It's for your good. The good of generation yet unborn. The power you have is PVC. You don't have any power. The assembly is not there for you. Party structure is not there for you. Party, they cannot solve their own problem. The leaders, there are no leaders there for you. The young leaders should remarch and carry their cross, their destiny in their hands. My fellow guys, I thank you very much. And then may God bless the state. Kogi will rise again.
Thank you very much. And that's the words from him, Mr. Goodman. And from me here is a wrap-up, and this is National Discourse. We have done extensively well dealing with Kogi politics starting from yesterday until today. And we believe that the people of Kogi State will do the needful. He has spoken to us. If you think something is going wrong, go quickly and grab your PVC. Let's remember that your vote is your right. I still remain your host, Uche Uduma, signing out.